Alrighty, I have a construction update for you guys today. Super excited. We got to go inside the park for opening day. It was so awesome to meet some of you today. I wish I could meet more of you guys. But right now, on some days, I obviously have a full-time job outside of Amusement Insiders, so I was only able to pop in for a couple of hours. But it's always awesome to meet some of you. And talk about AlpenFury. With that in mind, let's get right on to topic, and that is AlpenFury's current state. So as you can see inside the park, we have one of the towers fully assembled for the Icewinder roll, and then we have the second part of the tower about 3/4 of the way assembled. Maybe even half. I don't know. No, we'll say 3/4. And a few of the stall supports for the other side as well. But a lot of the stall is incomplete or not even started. So that leaves the question, when is it going to start? Well, we're obviously missing some support columns. It's very obvious that we're missing a bunch of support columns. Mathematically speaking, I would say we're missing anywhere between 15 and 25 support columns for AlpenFury. So hopefully those arrive any day now so they can start wrapping up construction. It is pretty crazy that that's the case. Oh, right now, here, let's talk about this. This is super important. This is where the photo booth is, or the photo is going to take place on AlpenFury. You can see where they're going to, that little bar there, that's where they'll install the little PLC kind of sensor that'll trigger that camera there. So thanks to Jake for pointing that out. That was super awesome. So that is where the photo will most likely be, just on the pullout there. So that's awesome that we can at least now know that. But as you can see up there, that is where the first set of holdbacks on AlpenFury was taking place. So that has been completely fixed. It is fully bolted, or at least it looks like it. But nonetheless, good news that it looks like the top hat for the most part is fully done. There is definitely a bit of torquing to do on that tower. You guys love that word now. Or I'm going to force that word on you, torquing. So as you can tell here, a lot of the structure has been torqued, but there are a few sections that need a little bit more as well. So, but they've gotten a lot done in the last couple days. So definitely been taking advantage of the no vertical construction taking place due to missing some support columns. With that being said, again, we should, or hopefully should, be seeing support columns arriving. But in the meanwhile, they have gone and started the grout work on the footings, and I wanted to show you a close-up of what that looks like. So that is just kind of like topping off the footer. So they go in and they basically pour cement in that little in-between area of the support column and footing. This is also that little maintenance bay entrance, and I just wanted to show you that I have that little person entrance that they can slide into to enter that little maintenance bay for AlpenFury's little storage lot. They also built a secondary storage lot to work on other trains in the winter as well. So that's just off to the left of AlpenFury's little storage track. Right today, they were connecting the little PLC sensors along the track and the brake run. That was really cool to see, and connecting them to the electrical. They've gone in and added a little bit more theming in AlpenFest. In fact, the Grab and Go Markets paint job looks absolutely stunning. I hope this video does it justice, but in person, whoever did the paint work for Grab and Go, I'm absolutely loving it. It looks like aged paper, if that makes sense. If you ever were in school and you had to do a project for like medieval times or whatever, and you did that little teabag staining on the paper, that's kind of like the effect the building has, and it was absolutely stunning. So very impressed with that work. In here, they are working on weatherproofing the rock work, which brings me to a possibility that we could be looking at a fogged entrance in there. The poutinerie, Après Poutinerie, in AlpenFest had its theming upgraded. It looks absolutely beautiful. So does the photo booth and merch store. It's starting to come to life. It looks great. And essentially, it's been a lot of electrical work taking place in AlpenFest. And as you can see here, The motors for cooling and all the electrical is all hooked up, and the cable management has taken place as well. So it's been packed away into its little caissons for cable management. Over on the brake run, a lot of the motors have been installed for the drive tires and the little kind of like brake plates that hold the train in place, as well as the little PLC boxes that this guy was installing along the route and just working on finishing off its cable management for the brake run as well. Timber Kits is just waiting on some wood, but as you can see here, the rockwork was stained black, and we learned that they stain that black and then add the paint on top. It's to help give it that kind of like rustic, like brown color that we see on that one footing in AlpenFest as well. So Rockscapes has done an amazing job on the rockwork in AlpenFest, especially the ones around the footings. Very impressed with how they've turned out, and I can't wait to see what they do inside the mountain. And as you saw in my last construction update with the drone the other day, it does look like they're building the tunnel inside the mountain because there was scaffolding in there. Now, they are adding the same kind of theming to all the buildings in that area. They've gone and removed that little curb around the Fly's entrance sign to help accommodate the queue line. We also have the station gates ready to go in. We also have the compressor tank, as well as some other parts for the station up above. So definitely a good sign, but again, just being super transparent for anyone who's bought a ticket to my event. Personally, coming from my opinion, this coaster is definitely not going to be ready end of May. I would say we will be lucky if this coaster is open late spring. I get that Wonderland is saying late spring, but there is still a lot of work to do. And as you can tell, we're missing approximately, based off of my assumption from counting supports of what's missing and on site right now, about 15 to 25 support columns. And those aren't even on site yet. Hopefully they arrive tomorrow or Saturday. They did not arrive today, but there's a lot of work to go on, and that's not including commissioning and all that jazz as well. So again, I would say we'll be lucky if this ride opens late spring and not early summer. With that being said, a lot of work has been taking place. They've started to lay down the brickwork in AlpenFest, but a lot of the work going on with AlpenFury is its electrical and getting all those pneumatics set up in the station area and on the brake run. There is the PLC room, the brain of AlpenFury, fully set up, and it looks like it has started to be connected to power, and that's why they've worked their way out and now connecting the launch and the brake run. Over here, I have heard that the park is bringing its old clock, its old little turning clock, back to AlpenFest. So that's a little nod to history coming back right there, as you saw there with the clock and the thing. I believe that was located right near Barron's Curve. So that'll be coming back to AlpenFest. That is so awesome that the park is doing that. I love whoever is running this park bringing all those old little history nods back. So can't wait to see what they do with World Expo. Because that's a huge project that Wonderland will be working on, and they've already been openly talking about it with enthusiasts as well. So very excited to see what they do with World Expo. But there's one of the little PLC boxes that will be along the track. So wherever you're going to see one of those, you'll see that little bar that Jake pointed out where they're going to take the photo. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. A lot of it basically, I'll go over this. So the next steps of construction are, one, obviously finishing the ride, so getting the Icewinder roll and the stall complete. 2, finishing torquing all the bolts. That is going to be a continuous process that does continue after the ride opens. 3, the grout, finishing all the grout on the footings along the ride's path. 4, the tunnel inside the mountain, if Wonderland is still moving forward with that, so getting that tunnel built. 5, the pneumatics, the electrical, and essentially just the magnetics and all that, all hooked up, operating, and ready to go. And 6, I think I'm on 6, guys, I lost track. Finishing AlpenFest. 7, getting the ride commissioned and tested and the crew trained. And there's more outside of that. Those are like 7 main factors right there that they still have to do. So we will be very lucky if this opens late spring. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer. That's just my honest 2 cents of what I'm seeing. But we'll have to wait and see. Thunder Run has the heartbeat in the exit. So if you're able to ride Thunder Run, stand still, wait for the train to not be circulating, because it is very faint. It's not very loud like it used to be back in time. But there is the heartbeat back, so that was really awesome to see. That door right there, by the way, I'll talk about that in a second. This is the elevator that they've added to Thunder Run. I don't think it's operational yet. Well, it's obviously not operational yet. That door, by the way, if you remember me about a year or two talking about a maintenance bay being added into the mountain up on the Thunder Run platform, it looks like they're actually moving forward with that. I thought that was a dead project, but it looks like they are moving forward with that, because if you ride Thunder Run, you can actually see them building the maintenance shed right before you enter that tunnel as you come out of the mountain back into the station. So pay attention to that if you're riding Thunder Run. You'll be able to see that, and it's right near that door that you see cut out in that mountain as you're exiting Thunder Run. The little ticket booths are now operational at the rides. You can now buy your Fastlane tickets. Super easy. You can scan your season pass to claim your single use on these machines as well. So really cool to see that operational, and very excited to see how that transpires. I just want to point out that Backlot and Behemoth are the cheapest rides on here. But I'm kidding. With that being said, I think that's everything. There's no update on Mindbuster that you don't already know about. And yeah, so I will update you guys as I know more, and obviously stay tuned for a possible 2027 update in the next coming weeks as we keep our eyes on Kingswood. Have a good one, guys. Bye.